So today I'm going to be continuing what I did in the last video. I'm going to be reading to page 10. So let's start. My client almost didn't make it to his appointment on time. I'm sorry, sir. You want to be my apprentice? You want to make a good, honest living? I did. I really did. I needed the cash. My ma and I needed the cash, and no one would hire some teenager from the slums who barely had an education to be Mr. Right-Hand Man. That was more than I could have hoped for. Boy, I felt stupid and ashamed. One more chance, buddy. Only one more, and then that's it. One more chance. This was my last chance that I met him. When I first went to the studio to deliver him his suit, the clothing bag slung over my right shoulder, there had been a blackout cause of the heat. Not just in the studio's tall brick building, but also in the rest of the neighborhood. The flashing lights on the theater marquees were still, and as I passed by the dark sign for St. Louis Woman, two stagehands were staring up at the building, hands on hips, toothpicks dangling out of their mouths. Now what, Steve? Show must go on. That's what they say, all right. It hadn't been clicked in my mind. There'd been a blackout until a few blocks later, west, when I passed a theater off Broadway and finally arrived at the next studio door. I'd been super focused getting there, but I was already late. This time it wasn't my fault. It was the subway, I swear, but Mr. wouldn't know the difference. I had to make up the time, so I was walking fast and not really noticing. And where was I? Sorry. Noticing much of the world around me. But when I stepped into the muddy dark, it jarred me back to reality. And I stopped and just stood there. It was so black you couldn't really tell which way was up. Then suddenly, it was super bright, like someone was shining a light right at me. I held up my hand, and the light flew off my face, and I watched as the beam scanned the room until it found gray-haired older woman sitting behind a huge desk. I jumped, surprised to see her just appear like that. Gosh dang it, Norman, he said, squeezing her eyes shut behind the lenses of her oversized glasses. Projector's gone out, said Norman in a gruff voice. In case you hadn't noticed, the power's out everywhere. Get the flashlight out of my eyes. There was a pause, and then everything went black again, with a click. Blacker, I should say, blacker. After the glare from the direct light, it was not just the flashlight was turned off, but my eyes too. Gave me shivers up my spine. I didn't know what to do. I had to deliver this suit already. I thought I could remember where the desk was, so maybe I could stumble toward it. Who's the kid? Asked Norman from somewhere. I don't know, Norman. There was a sound of match scratching, a service, and then the whoom of a flame coming alive. The old woman's face was distorted grotesquely. I don't know how to say that word. With long drawn out shadows drooping down as she lit a lantern in her hand. And then there was a light. It flickered and danced off the walls. There was framed posters hanging on them. They looked like movie posters, but cartoons. And one character in particular. He was real smiley. I wanted to take a closer look. Where was I? What was this place? Why did the character kind of look familiar? Okay, kid, I see you now. What do you want? Asked the woman sitting down so low behind the desk, only her glasses and top of her head were visible. It wasn't complicated, but I'd forgotten who I was delivering to, and I looked down, fumbling with the black clothing bag in my arms to find the name. Come closer, I can't hear a dang word you're saying, said the woman. Her hand appeared over the top of the desk and gave me a sharp wave to come over. I did a while searching for the name tag. I have a suit, I said, trying to buy time. Said the woman. Finally, I found the tag. This was the first time his name ever made any kind of impression of me. The first time I meant something. All that had mattered up until then was to get to the studio on time, to not get fired. That was the only important part. So I knew the address. I knew it was on Broadway, but the name of the guy hadn't been anything. I saw it in my mind's eye. Hadn't pictured it. I have to take a quick break because I've been reading for a long time. I'm going to read till 11 minutes, just like the other video. Okay, I'm done my break. Now let's come on, kid. I haven't got all day. Joey Drew, I said. I'm looking for a Mr. Joey Drew. Who's looking for him? Asked Norman, his voice filled with suspicion. Mr. I blurted out. It wasn't exactly the best answer, but the dark and this guy's attitude made me nervous for some reason. And somehow, the flickering light over that smiling cartoon character thing didn't help either. Sorry. Who? Asked a woman. The tailor who made his suit. I've got Mr. Drew's suit. I'm the delivery guy with his suit. He's dead, said Norman. I turned to the man. He was standing so far away from the lantern light. He wasn't more than an outline. He is? My heart thudded in my chest. That didn't make sense and also scared me in a strange way. I couldn't quite understand. Nah, replied Norman. Sorry, to fix it real quick. With a laugh. Nah, he ain't. I don't understand, I said, turning back to the old woman. She just shrugged and said, Norman's jokes aren't really something anyone understands. It was a joke. I looked back at the outline of the man. Norman was still laughing, but I didn't seem like a happy laugh. Didn't make me feel better, that's for sure. Come with me, he said. His girls out for the afternoon. You can take it to him personally. I glanced at the woman and she nodded, so I figured that. Okay guys, I'm gonna end the video. So next video, I don't know what page I'm gonna get to because I have to end this video at 11 minutes because I don't want to go overboard. So I'm gonna end the video right now.